Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gayle Carson. Welcome to Living Regret Free, a program that shows you how to live a better and more joyful life. As an added bonus, I invite you to listen to an introduction to my Mindset Matters program, which ties into this so well. Go to www.sobmindset.com. It's free, and I know you will enjoy it. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at gaylecarson13@gmail.com or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Hi, everybody. My guest today is Janet McKee. She's a speaker, best-selling author, high-performance consultant, and CEO of SanaView. She's one of only 200 elite coaches in the world certified in high performance by the High Performance Institute and inducted as a member of the National Association of Experts, Writers, and Speakers. She's author of the new book, Stressless Success: The Surprising Secrets to a Life of Passion, Purpose, and Prosperity. She created the acclaimed Accelerated High Performance Program and the Empower 3 Leadership and Lifestyle Retreats to empower others to break negative patterns and achieve greater success. Janet, welcome.
Hello, Dr. Gayle. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
Oh, you're so welcome. And of course, you're talking about something that is on everybody's mind right now, and that's stress. And your newest book, Stressless Success: The Surprising Secrets to Life of Passion, Purpose, and Prosperity, sounds very intriguing. So what's it about? And isn't stress kind of stress success, an oxymoron,
Yeah.
because
Yes, it sure is, but it's not. It's very valid, and I'll explain that as we talk today. But let me just mention, isn't it outrageous that I researched for 10 years and spent a year writing this book, and it releases in February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit? So how's it even possible that I could be releasing a book about stress right before everything has happened in the world? I could not have planned it any better, but that's what happens when you do what I share in the book. And when you learn to live instead of in a mode of stress and struggle, you learn to break down those walls of resistance and open yourself up and allow your life to flow. Incredible things happen that are better than you could have ever created under stress and struggle. And that's the basis of the book. We all believe that we must stress and struggle to achieve greater levels of success, but what I discovered through my own dealings with incredible stress and burnout, that the opposite is actually true. And of course, I teach how, not only why is this so powerful, but how to do it. And that's really important.
So, it's funny how life plays out in strange ways. And it's very interesting to see how people are reacting to the pandemic. Some are handling it well, some are handling it not so well. Some have kids at home that they're struggling with because they've got to school them and they have to do their work, and it's very difficult. I mean, I'm fortunate in the fact that I live alone and I only have 2 cats, so I only have to worry about myself and the 2 of them. On the other hand, a lot of other people who are living the way I live are very lonely and depressed. Not me, but people who live alone and can't go anywhere, like I cannot go anywhere because I'm immune compromised. It's tough. It's tough. So how did you discover the ideas that you share in the book? And then what inspired you to write it?
Wonderful question, Dr. Gayle. And I'm sure so many people have their stories. And of course, I do as well. But mine is one where you will understand I hit a wall in every area of my life. I was always a high achiever, top of my class in high school, graduate school, undergrad, graduate school, all of that, became MBA, took on this high power, high pressure job, climbed the corporate ladder very rapidly, very successfully, but all the stress and pressure took me down. And I literally developed an autoimmune disease where I landed in the hospital and the doctors gave me no hope. I couldn't eat, I couldn't walk. And prior to that, I was a young, athletic, aggressive career woman. And they came to me and said, we really don't know what to do for you. We have some options that sounded dreadful. And finally, I said no. I got myself out of the hospital. I could barely even walk. And I started to learn how to heal my body naturally. I didn't know anything about natural health and healing, but through a few years of trial and error, I don't know how I got through it, but I completely healed my body. And I'm decades older now and have no illness whatsoever, no medication whatsoever. And the doctors years ago told me that was impossible. So from that, I left the corporate world because I became inspired to help other people learn how to help improve their wellness, mind and body, holistic health. Went to Columbia University, studied holistic health, and worked with many incredible medical doctors and helped many people not only prevent, but also reverse very serious health challenges, even life-threatening. So right there, that's just the first piece of the story. If it wasn't for my health challenge, if it wasn't for me almost dying in the hospital and not coming out of it alive, I would have never learned how to heal my body and would have never helped so many other people deal with very serious health challenges. So I look back at that, right? At that moment in the hospital where I didn't think I was even going to make it. And something came over me and I just said no to the doctor and got out. And believe me, doctors help a lot of people on a lot of things, but they just didn't know what to do for me. I had a very unusual situation. So that challenge led me to an incredible part of my life where I'm upper middle age, I'm perfect health, like with no medications. And if it wasn't for being in the hospital, I would have never be in the health that I am right now. So I look at that challenge, right, and say, wow, I learned so much for it. And, the title of your show here, I have no regrets for going through that horrible, debilitating experience. But Dr. Gayle, that wasn't the end of it. As I was working with clients and having great success, all of a sudden, my husband of 26 years walked out on me and our son in an hour's notice and left me not only heartbroken and our family ripped apart, but also left me on the brink of financial disaster because he also put liens on all of these investment properties that I developed while raising our son for financial stability for our family. He put liens to buy a business that at the time he left, that business was failing. So not only did I feel like I was standing on thin ice, I felt like the roof above my head was a house of cards because he also put a lien on the home where we lived. So Dr. Gayle, I went through a time where I was not only heartbroken and depressed, but filled with fear and anxiety. I was facing bankruptcy. And I didn't know how I was going to support a home for me and our son. So I hit everything in my life, health, personal, financial walls. But after a year of depression and anxiety, I decided, wait a minute, I used to be a happy, successful, vibrant woman. I need to find that person again. So I literally and figuratively went out around the world and studied with world masters in success, achievement, abundance, high performance, positivity. And each one gave me these ideas, and I talk about them like these delicious morsels that I would taste and savor, and they would help me a little bit, but I still wasn't getting to the place that I thought was possible for me in my life. And it wasn't until I made these incredible discoveries and put all of these teachings together and what I call like this delicious recipe when things began to happen for me. They happened for me, not from a place of stress and struggle, but from a place of elevated and expanded energy where you just trust and you have faith and you step forward with that expanded feeling instead of a restricted feeling of stress and struggle. And it's when I started to make that shift and I learned how to do it that everything came to me. Like I was invited by Brian Tracy to contribute a chapter to a book of his, which became a bestseller. He's like a multi-million best-selling author and a success and business legend. I got invited to Hollywood to be interviewed by Jack Canfield, who's a multi-million best-selling author. I mean, all of these things just started to happen for me. And that's when I realized that's the actual secret to success. It's not stress and struggle. And that's why I did more research and developed the book, and I have it available.
Well, let's unpack some of all of that you said. You said quite a bit in these last couple of minutes. First of all, it all started in the very beginning from a high pressure job. And I think that's something we need to talk about because, it's hard to tell somebody you don't want the American dream of success in corporate America. But a lot of people still do, and a lot of people don't. But the point is, never let a job get the best of you. Never let a job take over your life. Never let a job stop you from being the true you. And so you had to go through a horrible medical experience to understand that, almost not coming out of it. And then you went on to have this successful career, but then your husband threw a monkey wrench in it, which I try to explain to women that they have to be self-sufficient on their own and they can't depend on anybody else. I mean, it's wonderful. I had a great marriage. I mean, I had a 45-year marriage, but I was financially independent and did not depend on my husband for my income or my resources or my survival. I depended on him to just give me this wonderful completion of my life. I mean, he was just a wonderful person and a wonderful father and husband. So people need to look at what you've just said and really think about this, Janet. What allows someone to be taken over by these external factors? Even though your husband was a personal factor, it's still an external factor. What allows someone to be taken over by these external factors and allow them to get into this state of such stress that it's debilitating?
Brilliant question. It's a choice that they're making. So many people look at what's happening around them and they claim they're victims, right? Oh, it's my spouse, it's my boss, it's the economy, it's the government, it's the pandemic that's making me miserable. And then they just give all their power away to all of these things on the outside. And what I'm sharing here is people have the power within them to create, no matter what is happening around them, to create a life that is far better, far more fulfilling, far more successful. And when we talk about success, it's not only success in business, it's success in every area of your life. Because we studied the world's most accomplished people, and these people recognize that your health and well-being are critical to have success in every area of your life, that your relationships, your hobbies, your spirituality, and your professional life, whatever that is all important because they all feed off each other. And so you have the power within you, no matter what is happening around you. And as we uncover this today in this conversation, everyone will realize that they no longer have to view themselves as victims. And let me say one other thing. You mentioned, well, you don't have to climb the corporate ladder or, struggle to, have corporate success. Well, let me tell you again, that's a choice. And that's what I'm saying. You can either strive to climb that corporate ladder and choose to view it as difficult and struggle and stress, or you have the ability to choose otherwise, to choose to look at it as opportunities and excitement. I write about how too many people say out there, oh, all you need to do is think positively. What I discovered is that's not actually accurate.
Well, that's true. You do mention that negative thoughts can actually be a positive thing. And of course, I'm always striving for positive thinking and mindset and that kind of thing. So what do you mean by negative thoughts can actually be a positive thing?
Okay, let's imagine that you're driving down the highway and you're heading for the life of your dreams. And it's a beautiful day and you're looking at the scenery and you start to daydream and you begin to veer off the side of the road. and you hit the rumble strips, right? It's like boom, 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 and they feel uncomfortable. Well, those rumble strips are protecting you from driving off the cliff, correct?
That's right.
Well, in Stress to Success, I take the readers by the hand and I walk them through an understanding. So they develop an understanding that everything is energy. Nothing is solid. And that's been proven in scientific research. Everything at the subatomic level is fluid. But what they discovered is our thoughts actually can influence what happens around you, even at things that you don't think have any relationship to your thought. But what I discovered is slightly deeper, that your thoughts create feelings, but it's your feelings that create an energy. And it's your energy that creates your life around you. Because everything that you give out is reflected back to you, right? And so you want to be giving out a better feeling energy. And let me explain this a little bit better. And let me go back to answer your original question. So if you know that everything you give out comes back to you, right? It's like if you're really angry and you're going to go out there and you're going to go into a meeting and you're really frustrated, that meeting's not going to go well. People are going to react to you differently than if you walk in and you're joyful and you're having a great day and you feel fabulous, right? And so if you recognize that what you're giving out is creating a response of everything around you, then you want to give out the best you that you can be. So if you're noticing that you're giving out a negative energy of anger, frustration, guilt, shame, whatever that is, that's just your rumble strips on the side of the road saying, hey, wait a minute, you are getting off your path of creating the life of your dreams because you're having uncomfortable thoughts and emotions. All right. So now you don't fight against them. You don't fight against negative thoughts. So many people are like, oh, you got to fight against those thoughts. You got to control your mind, right? Mind control. Well, has anyone out there ever tried to control all of their thoughts 100% of the time, every day? Well, if you're trying to, give it up. You're never going to be able to do it. And that's why that does not work. If you try to wrestle negative thoughts to the ground, if you try to fight against your negative thoughts, guess what gets the power? The negative thoughts. It's like try not to think about a pink elephant in the room. You can't do it. You're fighting against something. So you just accept, allow it. Like, okay, they're there to help me. They're there to show me that I must be having thoughts that are creating uncomfortable feelings, that's affecting my energy, and that's going to create an uncomfortable outcome for my life. So what can I do to get back on my path? Those are my rumble strips. They're good. They're showing me I'm just having those human thoughts that are veering me off from what I want to create for my life. So what can I do? Even something small that feels better, because then I'm on my path going forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And I think that brings us to a couple of other things. And that is number one, first of all, what and how do you define success? Because everybody defines it in a different way. So I think you first have to decide what success is. And I think that changes. For example, when I first started out in business many hundreds of years ago, there was one thing on my mind, and that was my career. And of course, I was never part of corporate America. I've always worked for myself. Mm-hmm. So it was building my business and just concentrating, and I mean really concentrating on it. So that was one kind of success. Then when I became known in my profession and I became very active in professional organizations, it was taking a leading role in those. And that success was culminated by becoming either president of the organization or a board member or something like that. Then, of course, raising kids and having being married and all of that, that brings a different kind of success. You want your family to be a success. You want your marriage to be a success. And then, of course, as you go through life, when my husband passed away, it was maintaining my own success by being an individual person living alone. And now it's at a different point of success. I want different things out of life than I did 50 years ago. So it makes a difference, I think, as to where you are in life and so forth. But the most important thing that I think you're stressing, Janet, and that I believe in is that you create your own success, whatever it is. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to like what you're doing, and you continue on. So, when you talk about pervasive negativity and you talk about going from stress to success, I think that's all part of that pathway. How do you feel about that?
Okay, you've said so many wonderful things. I appreciate you sharing more about your background and your story too.
We only have 5 minutes left, so I want to make sure we get in everything you want to say, and also, where people can get a copy of your book. And I don't know if you have a gift for anybody, but how to find you. So all of those things we have to do in the next 5 minutes.
We will. Okay, so first of all, you said, well, what define success differently for everybody. So I'd like to everyone that's listening to just think, what does success feel like to you? And you don't have to describe all the details. Just what does it feel like? What does it feel like to have wonderful health, wonderful relationships, plenty of money and wonderful home, a successful career, whatever. What does it feel like? And when you get to the feeling place, that's success. So no matter what that means to anybody, we've known people that have had very, minimal amounts of money and wealth have been extremely happy. To them, their life is successful. And people that are very wealthy too, they can be very happy. It doesn't matter. It's what does it feel like? And it's the feeling that defines success. And let me explain that. It's the feeling that creates your energy. So the key thing here is why I say positive thinking is not always the answer, because let's just look at how you view certain things. Somebody might look at like climbing the corporate ladder as a challenge, or they're facing a challenge and the challenge is really tough. It's difficult. It's bad. It's a struggle. Some people look at challenges with excitement. They roll up their sleeve and they're like, they can't wait to dig in. So the word challenge is not the concept here. What is important is the way the word makes you feel. So when I saw that with a client of mine, she was dealing with something she was concerned about and she had a lot of fear. So she kept trying to repeat positive thoughts to herself, but those thoughts, she was forcing a positive thought about something she was fearful about. All she was doing was putting more fear out into her energy.
Yeah, I do get that. I absolutely do understand that. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of the idea. So the idea is just always get to where you feel. And the way to do that is to do anything and everything that helps you feel better. If you can't feel better about a subject, you walk away and you just do things like prayer, meditation, dance and sing, get outside of Mother Nature, do anything that feels better. Everything is about energy, and that comes from the way you feel, not about what your mind is saying. Just do things that feel better. And then as you move forward and you approach your challenges and whatever you're worried about, results are going to happen to you. Solutions are going to happen for you. And all of this is explained in my book, Stressless Success. It's simple. It just takes practice. And I'm giving away, because of everything happening, giving away free paperback copies of the book. You just have to pay shipping and handling. But if you just go to stresslesssuccess.com, there's an immediate free download of a 3-day Banish Burnout Plan so that you can get results immediately. And you have the option.
And tell them where they go, because we've got 2 minutes left and I want to make sure you get that in. Where do they go to get your book?
That's what I said, stresslesssuccess.com. If you want an immediate download of a 3-day plan, but you have the option to order the book for free, or of course, you can go to Amazon anytime.
Fantastic. And so if they go to Stressless Success, I want to make sure we get this right. I'm looking for your handle right now. It's stresslesssuccess.com is their website, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they can find it there. Is that right?
That's where you get option to get the book and the 3-day plan, immediate download of that. And then you can order a paperback book for free. There's also a click to Amazon. If you want to learn more about me, I'm a speaker, author, high performance consultant, and coach. You go to janetmckee.com.
And that's MCKEE. capital MC, capital KEE. Wow, a lot of information in a short period of time, Janet, but the most important thing is that you're showing people how to live in this stressful time. And that's the key right here. People are just going through a lot of, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know when we're going to open this country. Every time we try to open up our schools or our country or anything else, COVID rises, and it rises because people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, which is socially distance and wear a mask. And if they did those things, we'd have this thing under control a lot sooner. But I want to suggest everybody go to Janet's website, get a copy of her book. She's not charging you anything for it. It's going to help you in this time. Janet, thank you so much for being with us today. It was really interesting. I mean, you are certainly passionate about what you do, and that comes through in everything that you're saying. And thank you so much for your message today.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunities to speak with you and your listeners.
Hi, this is Dr. Gayle, and I wanted you to know I have a whole bunch of other things to offer you. If you go to spunkyoldbroad.com, you will see an array of SOB stuff for sale and all our latest products and additions. If you're interested in getting on TV, I have a brand new course, Get on TV. And if you want to start your own business, you'll want my SOB Guide to Business Success. I know you'll love them all. I guarantee it.
Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. I choose my guests carefully, so if you have someone you'd like me to interview, please drop me a line at GayleCarson13@gmail.com. In the meantime, check out my intro program, Mindset Matters, at www.sobmindset.com. See you next week.